chair quickly, please. So at this time, we'd like to welcome to the front, Ms. Grace Carudesna, prabhu, please welcome her. I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words about Carudesna prabhu. When I first came to the Krishna Consciousness Temple in Atlanta in 1972, he had already been there for a couple of years. And at that time, he was a brahmachari in Saffron, as Shanti explained earlier. And he's very special to this community. He's the senior most follower of Srila Prabhupada in the entire Atlanta area. Yesterday he called me and he said, "Prabhu, I'm very, very sick." He was recently in the hospital for, I think, over a week. So I was really afraid that he had a relapse. So he said, "I'm feeling so tired, I'm so weak, I'm dizzy, I can't move. I don't think I can come tomorrow." I said, "Don't worry, Tradition. Just, I'll pray for you." And pray to Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is like the Lord of medicine and health. So I said, "I'll pray for you." So I stayed up all night, practically to 3 in the morning, praying for Tradition. Then when I called him this morning, I said, "How are you feeling?" He said, "I'm better." Yes, I knew that. So we're very honored to have him here today. He's been my mentor for all these years, and please take advantage of his association. He's going to share some of the basic ideas of Krishna consciousness. One quick story. Tradition was the pioneer for selling Prabhupada's books at the Atlanta airport. So one year, he went out very early, and that day, he sold over 200 of the very big, like Bhagavad Gita's and Bhagavatam on his own. No one had ever done that before. So when Prabhupada, the founder, heard about what Carudesna had done, he wrote in a letter especially saying, "It is simply wonderful that Carudesna has distributed 200 big books in one day." That was from Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Balabhadra. Balabhadra is such an inspiration, and we are so fortunate to have him in our association. You mentioned something that I'm going to wake up, and that was, I was in the hospital during Thanksgiving, and during that time, I left my body. And I was in darkness. And for a period of time, the only thing I was aware of was my heartbeat and my breathing. And then that stopped. No heartbeat, no breathing. But still, I was aware of existing. And that was confirmation for me for what Krishna consciousness is. Krishna consciousness is an awareness of existence beyond material covering. We're in the material world, and the reason that we're in the material world is because we had a desire. We had a desire to be independent. And that desire was something that happened in the spiritual world. We think, because of illusion, that we are material beings. But factually, we're not. We're spiritual beings. We're covered by matter. And because we are covered, we identify with the covering, and that identity affects our interaction with one another. So what we interact with is the covering. So what is this covering? There are 25 elements that cover us. One of those elements is time. And all of this is revealed in the scripture. So what's time doing? Time is holding all of the molecules together. So this body is molecules. And the molecules, right, are atoms. There's hydrogen, there's oxygen. Water is H2O. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So consciousness is affected, material consciousness is affected by these material elements. And so they are always in flux. So we think we're the body, but actually we have no control over the body. Can you make your blood flow in a different direction? Can you stop your hair from growing? Our control of the body is limited, but yet we say, I'm the body. And we interact with each other based on that. So Krishna came to teach us, to give us a deeper understanding of who we really are. In the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, text 7, Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya, dhani bhavati bharata, abhutana madhamasya, dhamajam shajamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a rise of your religion, that's when I appear. So 5,000 years ago, Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, India. And he brought with him his associates. And the reason that he appeared was to protect devotees and annihilate demons. And there were a lot of demons. And Krishna killed these demons, but in killing them, they were liberated. And Krishna also protected his devotees. One of the things that he did, and this purpose for coming, was to confirm the existence of God. Krishna confirmed the existence of God through his activities. One of those activities was holding up Govardhan Hill. Has anyone been to India? Has anyone seen Govardhan Hill?
Yes.
All right. So that is no small task. To hold up Govardhan Hill with his pinky for 7 days. And the reason he did that was because there was torrential rain. And so all the devotees took shelter under Govardhan Hill for 7 days. And just imagine, Krishna's looking at everyone, and everyone is looking at Krishna for 7 days as he's holding up this hill. Another great feat that Krishna accomplished was marrying 16,108 wives. We can't even imagine anything like that. Not only did he marry 16,108 wives, right? He provided a palace, a marble palace for each one of his wives. And on top of that, 10 sons. So there was 160,000, over 160,000 family members in Krishna's family. So who else has ever done anything like that? So we hear about God's appearance, but is there anyone who has appeared that can exceed that? No, there isn't. So Krishna came to be God, but being God did not allow him one thing, and that was to be a devotee. is the master. The devotee is the servant. So Krishna wanted to know, what is this devotee? What is this like? What is Radharani feeling? What are the gopis feeling? What are my servants feeling? I want to know that. So 500 years ago, Krishna took birth as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya, what he wanted to do and what he did was to create a societal space beyond the material covering. Now think about that. We're covered. We're in the material world. And because we're covered, our perception is limited. So beyond this material world, there is a different perception. And we can have that perception by taking to the process that Lord Chaitanya introduced. And that process is chanting, Sankirtan, chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When you vibrate that sound, even if you don't know what it is or know what it means, what you do is you enter a space beyond material covering. That's right, beyond material covering. It is so powerful, that sound vibration, it allows us to leave the material plane. So today you are hearing, just think about it. A societal space was created by the sound vibration that allowed everyone in this room to go beyond the material covering. And what is the material covering? It's the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. It is repeated time and time and time again. And it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, or how much money you have, or how many possessions you have. You can't stop that cycle. You can't stop it. But the sound vibration of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you chant that every day, we are asked by our Guru to chant 16 rounds every day. We also follow different principles. And later on today, we will take prasad. And that's something that we all enjoy. We do. Even not even understanding what it is we're doing. We like the taste. But really, the essence of that experience is the understanding that every morsel, every grain is spiritual. It's not matter. You may think it's matter, but it's not. And it's not because it's offered to the Lord. And when it's offered, He transforms it into spirit. So that's a real experience. Even though we don't understand it, that's a real experience. And that experience takes us beyond the material plane. Krishna consciousness, this movement is so special. It's so special. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu created this societal space, and it was something that was only available in India. In 1965, there were no Krishna conscious Chinese, Europeans, Africans, South Americans, North Americans, Canadians. There weren't any. Because the societal space and on those continents was all material. There was no spiritual space that had been established. What Prabhupada did something that no one who has ever lived is able to do. He took that societal space that Lord Chaitanya created, took it from India and brought it to America. So everybody who came in contact with that sound vibration, with prasadam, with the knowledge, everyone who could see, hear, and speak about Krishna was able to leave the material sphere, was able to actually experience an existence beyond the material covering. So Prabhupada brought that to America, and then he took it all over the world. Just think about it. 14 trips around the world. And today, on every continent, the spiritual space, societal space for purification has been established. And to me, that is so exciting. Just hearing the chanting today, it was just so penetrating. And we should all be thankful that we have this opportunity, even though we don't understand it thoroughly. So my advice is read Prabhupada's books, please, because you will find all the answers right in those books. Krishna's given us knowledge. The knowledge is there. What we have to do is take it. Take it. It's there for the taking. And if we do that, then we will remain in the societal space beyond the material covering. In our day-to-day life, we find ourselves in situations where we have to have material interaction, because the people that we deal with, that's where they're at. And that's unfortunate. But we can, and it's a challenge, we can, in some way, introduce Krishna to our interaction. Bring some prasadam. Bring some prasadam. Give it to those people who are covered materially. And this will help them. This will help. And if you're brave enough, just talk about a little bit about Krishna. Because what happened with me, the way I came to Krishna consciousness, was I had a friend, and we used to have all kinds of philosophical discussions. And he said, "You ever heard about Krishna?" Krishna, who's Krishna? And he said, "Well, you need to read this book." So he gave me a book, and the book was Easy Journey to Other Planets. Gave me that book. He said, "Now go somewhere and sit down in a quiet place and read this book." And I read the book, and it just captivated. It was so captivating, and just it's so deep, really wonderful. And so at the time, I was a hippie. I was living in a teepee out on this reservation. And in New York State, I was in New York State, and for 2 winters, I was in this teepee. And so when I got this book, I said, "That's it, I'm leaving." And so I moved to North Carolina because the winter was just devastating. So I moved to North Carolina. The temperature was much nicer. It was a beautiful place. And I had my book. And I was still reading it, and it was just so wonderful. So I did some traveling, And I went to this university, Guilford College, and there was a professor there. He taught world religion. And he was giving a seminar, and I listened to him, and I approached him. I said, "Sir, I need a guru. This book is telling me that I need a guru." He said, "Yes, you do need a guru." And he said, so I asked him, I said, "Will you be my guru?" He said, "Yes, I will." And he lived in the mountains there in North Carolina. And I used to go up to his house, and we would sit on his back porch, and we'd look out over the mountains, and we would chant, "Oh," for hours, you know. And I don't know, it was just, it was different. And he told me, he says, "You know what?" He says, "I see your sincerity," and I used to go a lot and see him. He says, "I see your sincerity. I want to tell you something. I'm not your guru. You need a real guru." And so we kind of parted ways. So I was in Charlotte, not far away, one day, and I met an Indian man. I said, "Oh, an Indian man." And I talked to him, and I told him I had this book, I've been reading, I wanted, a guru. Would he be my guru? And he looked at me real strange, and he said, "Yeah, I'll be your guru." So he became my guru. And I'd go and see him from time to time, and he saw my sincerity. He says, "Guess what? You need a real guru." And so he told me, he says, "What you got to do, and you need to do this right away, is you need to go to India. You have got to go to India. That's where you will find your guru. He's there waiting on you." So I had been reading some other books, and I'd shaved my head, and I had a sika, and I was wearing Indian dress, and I came to Atlanta to say goodbye to my family members. And I saw them, and I told them, "I'm on my way to India. I'm going to find my guru." And they said, "Wow." And so I was downtown Atlanta, and I heard something. Clean, 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 clean. What's that? What's that? And it was devotees. And I saw devotees, and it was near the spot where we do Harinam. Yes, it was. And so I met the devotees, and they thought I was a devotee. Because I was, I had shaved my head, I was wearing this Indian dress, and I told them, I said, "Hey, I'm on my way to India to find my guru." And Jai Sena pulled me to the side. He says, "Listen, you want to find your guru? Come with us. Come with us." So he says, "All you got to do is get in the van and go with us." So I said, "Okay." So they took me to the temple, and a devotee was there. His name was Amogalila, and I'll never forget Amogalila was just radiant, beautiful, beautiful devotee. And he offered his obeisances, and I didn't know what that was, because I'd never done that before, and I didn't know what to make of it. And they invited me to come in, and I sat down, and Balamant, the temple president, came down, and we talked. And I told him what was going on, and that I was living in North Carolina in a teepee in the mountains, and that I was thinking about moving into the temple. And he encouraged me, he says, yes, you should move back. So Balamant, the temple president, went with me to North Carolina, to my teepee. And when he got there, he looked around, he says, "This is mine." I said, "It's mine?" I said, "What is mine?" He said, "It's illusion." But actually it was in the mode of goodness, because it was nature, there was no, it was actually a pretty nice environment. But he says, "We're going to take this teepee down and trash it, and you're going to come to Atlanta." And that's what we did. I came to the temple, I came to the Lord. then you can also become a devotee. All it takes is a sincere desire to associate. Right now, you're in the presence, all of you who are new, who haven't had any association, you're in the presence of devotees, and you could not be in better company. There is no better company. And if you take advantage of their association, you can make spiritual advancement. And it starts with chanting a holy name. That's sweet. It's sweet. You know, and I know if you're hearing it for the first time, it's something that you will develop a taste for. All you got to do is start chanting. Please. Because if you do that, you will leave the material covering. You will experience life beyond, and that life is good. It's good. It's real good. You can't beat it. And it's a simple process. It's very simple. It's not difficult. So I want to encourage you, all of you, to continue chanting. Continue creating this space for spiritual advancement, because it's needed, especially today. See, right now, we're in Kali Yuga. This is Kali Yuga. And for most of you, you probably don't know what that is, but this is the age of quarrel. Yes, yes. And there is a lot of animosity and anxiety and just so much going on. But it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So now is the perfect time. Please begin this process. Please take advantage of the association of devotees, and it will change your life. Hare Krishna.